Hi, this is Peter Murphy here from howtotalkwithconfidence.com. Today we're going to look at conversation magnets, which are easy ways to start a conversation and then to keep the conversation going. Once you start using what we covered today, you'll always know what to say to people. Let's start then by looking at the three types of conversation magnet. The first is the surface level, and that's all about small talk. Then you move on to the bridging level, where you focus and then explore a particular topic. And finally, you take the conversation to a deeper level, where you talk about your values, your beliefs, and even your identity. Let's start then by taking a closer look at surface magnets. The purpose of this stage of the conversation is just to get the conversation started. And for that reason, we actually want a day-to-day, even mundane topic. And that might be the weather, current events, what's happening in your day, or maybe the setting you're in. Or you might talk about your family, your friends, or even your pets. But the whole point of the surface magnet is to keep it simple. It's just to start a conversation and to get the other person involved. Once you've achieved that, you move on to the next stage, and that's where you want your bridging magnet. What is your bridging magnet? Well, you don't actually know until you get into the conversation, and the way you find out is by paying close attention to the other person and listening very carefully to what they say and also to how they say it. So you want to be listening, watching, and taking in what's happening and looking at the body language. And what you're doing at this stage is looking for a common topic that you can talk about with the other person, something you'll both find interesting. And unfortunately, I can't tell you, look, talk about X or Y. It doesn't work like that. Every conversation is different, and you need to bear in mind that when you're at the bridging stage, it's about testing, it's about trial, and it's about making mistakes and correcting your mistakes. There's no blueprint I can give you that you can use in every conversation. You need to have this attitude that you're testing and you're looking for a common topic. One way to do that is through personal disclosure. You tell the other person a little bit about yourself, and then again you pay close attention to their reaction to see if they're interested. Let's say I said to you, I'm planning a vacation to Florida next month, and I'm watching you very carefully, and I noticed that when I said the word vacation, your eyes lit up. Well, there, right away, I've got an indication you might like to talk about vacations. Let's say when I said the word Florida, you weren't that interested. Well, then I'll avoid talking about Florida, but I might talk a bit more about vacations. So you see, this is all about testing, and it's about trial and error, and it's about being flexible and letting the conversation develop. That takes you to the next stage, which is the deeper level of the conversation. So at this point, through the exploration and trial and error, you've found a topic of conversation that you both want to talk about. How do you take that deeper? You take it deeper by talking about what you love and by talking about what you're interested in. And not just you, but what the other person loves, what they enjoy, and what they're interested in. And that's all to do with values, beliefs, and identity. Values, again, are what's important to you. People like to talk about what's important to them, and they like to talk about their beliefs and their identity or their sense of who they are. So, in a nutshell, that's how you go deeper. You start, like I said earlier, with the surface level, where you just explore the mundane, day-to-day topics. Then you bridge through trial and error, looking for something more interesting. And then, once you have an interesting topic that you both want to talk about, you're not done yet. You want to go deeper. So let's say we've gone through this scenario, and let's say we started talking about the weather, and then we got on to talking about vacations. and all of a sudden we've got a nice conversation going. I'm talking about my vacations, you're talking about your vacations. Then I might even ask you what you enjoy most about your vacations, and we start talking about what we both love about vacation time. And then I'm looking for values. What's important to you about vacation? And I might even ask that question. I might say, what's most important to you about your vacation time? And then people will start telling you their values and their beliefs, and it all gets a lot more interesting and a lot more deeper, and you can get a real close connection with someone. So to wrap up, this whole attitude of moving the conversation along is about taking control. You take control of the conversation. You start at the surface level, you look to take it deeper, and then you actually take it deeper, like I just explained, by looking to talk about your values and what you enjoy most about the topic. Of course, none of this is going to happen unless you have an attitude of give and take. You need to give of yourself. You need to disclose a little bit about what you enjoy doing, talk a bit about what you're interested in, and then you got to give the other person the opportunity to share as well. It's not an interrogation. If you ask all the questions and don't share, you're going to kill the conversation. And finally, you need to know your exit. You need to know at what point you're going to finish the conversation. And again, this goes back to being in control. You don't want to leave everything up to the other person. If you get to a point and you've had a good conversation and it's going flat, know your exit. Know how you're going to exit the conversation. You could say to the person, thank you very much, I enjoyed talking to you, maybe talk to you later. And politely and honestly thank the person and then make your exit. There's no need to stand there feeling awkward, not knowing what to say. You can actually take charge and make your exit. Okay, that's it for now. I've given you some ideas to play with. I hope you'll get started now and start practicing what we talked about. This is Peter Murphy here from howtotalkwithconfidence.com.